Hello and welcome to this crochet tutorial where I will show you how to make this skirt with the tie on the side. The skirt is made using the moss stitch and it has an edging of double crochet. I like to point out that this also works with the bralette, a video that I had made previously. So come join me and let's make this skirt together. The materials and the tools we're going to use. Here I have some green yarn, has a little sparkle. I have white. The hook we're going to use is a 5.50 millimeter, a tapestry needle, and a pair of scissors. Another tool that we will be using is a stitch marker. We're going to be making a long chain, so I suggest, if you have it on a ball or from your skein, to pull out an ample amount so that you can have proper tension when creating the chain. You don't want the chain to be tight, you want it to be kind of loose, not real loose, but kind of loose. So go ahead and do that, and let's place a slip knot on our hook. We're going to begin with a chain of 120. This will measure around the hips for a 38-inch hip person. When you measure yourself, you want to take off about 4 inches because crochet does stretch some, and this will allow to have the little slit on the side without going too far back, either on front or back. So let's continue on with our chain of 120, and I'll meet you there. Now, after we have our chain of 120, you want to chain 2 more, and that one that you covered with your thumb, place a single crochet in that stitch. I pick up 2 parts of my chain so that way it doesn't stretch. Chain 2, skip 2 chains, and then in the third one, single crochet. We're following the format as if it was the moss stitch. Many people know that the moss stitch is a single crochet and a chain 1, but for our skirt that we're making, we're going to chain 2. Skip 2 and single crochet into the next chain. Go all the way to the end of the row, and I'll meet you there. Now, I did this on purpose. I have 4 chains left. Now, you can do one of 2 things. You can skip 2 and place the last one in and undo the last chain, or you can chain 1 and place a single crochet here, chain 1, and a single crochet in the last chain. It will not affect the overall outcome. I'm going to chain 2, place that last single crochet in, and then to undo it, we loosen the slip knot and it will cause all of the work to tighten up. Okay. Now, let's chain 2, turn our work. We're going to skip this first chain, the first single crochet, and in the chain 2 space, single crochet. On our next row, I'm going to show you how to make all of this balance out. Skip the next single crochet from the previous row and single crochet in the chain 2 space. Chain 2. Okay, we're going to repeat this all the way across. Skip the single crochet in the chain 2 and chain 2. Continue until you get to the end of the row. So at the end of the row, we have our single crochet from the previous row, and our chain 2. But we also have the chain 2 from the ending of the other row. So on the other side of the single crochet, place a single crochet into that chain 2 space. This will help make it so that we have a straight edge. Chain 2, turn your work, and continue across as we did before. Skip the first single crochet and single crochet in the next chain 2 space. One thing I wanted to point out was, you notice how you'll start to see the single crochets will stack on top of each other. This is how you know if your rows are going to be straight and accurate. Okay, go ahead until you get to the end of the row, and I'll meet you there. So we're at the end of row 3. Here's our single crochet and our chain 2 space. Go ahead and single crochet into that chain 2 space and chain 2, and then turn our work. Can you start to see the little brick look it has? Continue with this pattern till you have approximately 9 inches. I did want to make some suggestions. If you do want to change and have maybe 1 or 2 rows of a different color, I encourage you to do that. This is all part of your style, your coloring. So have fun with it. All right, let's continue on. So now that we have the 9 inches, I have 28 rows. Let's go ahead and fold it in half with our stitch marker right up there into that chain 2 space. Then do your pattern, which is single crochet, chain 2 all the way up to where our stitch marker is, leaving 1 open and the last single crochet. So what we're going to do is, instead of chain 2, we're going to chain 1, and this will help make it pull in just a little bit. So chain 1, single crochet in the next one, chain 1, single crochet in the one with our marker, chain 1 into the next, and then chain 2 and continue with your pattern. You're going to do this in the same area, what we have right here, for a total of 3 rows. Then we're going to change the amount so that we can pull the waistband area in. So do that for a total of 3 rows, and I'll meet you there. Please pause your video. So as you can see here, I've completed row 29, 30, and 31 with the 3 chain 1s in between. Here I am on row 32. I stopped in the last single crochet before the chain 2 and the chain 1. So we're going to increase the amount of chain 1s over the next 3 rows again, making it for a total of 5 chain 1s. So chain 1, single crochet, 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 and chain 1. Okay, so this will help pull it in just a little bit more as we build the decrease, but keep the same look for our waistline. So do this for a total of 3 rows. If you need to take your stitch marker and move it up to the row that you just did, that's a good idea as well. Okay, please pause your video and I'll see you in a few minutes. So after completing row 34, I'm halfway here on row 35. This time we're going to do 7 chain 1s. So here's my chain 2 before the chain 1s for the decrease. So I'm going to make this a chain 1, and do 7 across. Do this for 3 rows. You'll also notice that the area is starting to pull in so that we can have that decrease we need for the waist area. Here's my chain 2 on the other side, so let's place a chain 1 in there. Okay, so on to our next one. Chain 2, single crochet, chain 2, that's our pattern. So do this for 3 rows and I'll meet you there. You may want to lift your stitch marker like I did to this row. That'll verify that you did the first row, and then you just have to do 2 rows after that. So we're going to continue the decrease like we've done for the row 3, 5, and 7. So we're going to do 9 for 3 rows, and then do 11 chain 1 decreases for 3 rows. This will cover 6 rows when completed. After you've done that, I'll meet you there. Please pause your video. I hope you're enjoying this project. Well, we have a nice piece of fabric here That's what I like to call it. Nice rectangle with our curve here for our waist area. At the end of the 3 rows of 11, we're going to cut our yarn. And we're going to change our color to the white. So with the slip knot on our hook, we're going to pick up our first single crochet on the row we just ended with. I'm going to carry our tail over as well. In the chain 2 space, 1 single crochet. In the single crochet of the previous row, 1 single crochet. We're going to do that all the way up till we get to where we started our chain 1, single crochet, chain 1. So go all the way up to this chain 2 with 1 single crochet, and I'll meet you there. My next stitch is a single crochet, and then we have that chain 1 space. Skip over that and single crochet in the next single crochet of the previous row. So all of these that have chain 1, skip and just single crochet in the single crochets. This is going to help pull it in just a little bit tighter at the waist, so that way, depending on your figure type, you don't have to worry about it having that little, when it folds, that little pop out. So this will hug your figure better. Okay, so let's see, I have a few more here. Apparently on this last row I did quite a bit. Here's my chain 2. So we're going to 1 single crochet in the chain 2 space, and then single crochet in the chain 2 space, and single crochet. Continue that all the way to the end of the row, and I'll meet you there. So at the end of the row, we have the chain 2 space after the last single crochet. Let's place 3 single crochets so that it'll curve that corner. Now each row that we did was the width of 1 single crochet. So every row, place 1 single crochet all the way down to the end. At the bottom here, 1 single crochet, or 3 single crochets in that corner. And here, this is our foundation row, so you'll only put in 1 single crochet, and then I'll meet you there. So go ahead and do all that. May take a little bit of time. And make sure that your stitching is straight so that you have it in the stitch. Also, when you pick up a stitch, pick up 2 parts of the stitch. Don't pick up one, because you'll see how it'll stretch it out like that, and it'll make it so your stitching won't lay flat. So pick up 2 and then do your stitch. All right? I'll see you in a few minutes. Please pause your video. We're going to be working along our foundation row, That was all of our chain. So we placed 1 in the chain 2 space. Now you'll see how we have one strand here. You don't want to put a single crochet there. So I'm suggesting that you go in between the V on the single crochet. This will be the back side. Go in between the two and create a single crochet with that. Then in the chain 2 space, 1 single crochet, and then the same thing over here. Go in between these 2 lines. I know you're questioning, well, why? Why should I do that? Well, let me show you why. If we put 1 here, you see how it stretches out? You don't want that. You want your stitches to be in line and next to your work. Okay, so just place it in between the middle of the single crochet and single crochet in the chain 2 space. Continue this all the way across. At your corner here, when you get to the end of the row, should be your chain 2 turn. Inside there, place 3 single crochets and then 1 per row till you get down here, and then we'll place 2 more here and I'll meet you there. Don't forget to place the 2 single crochets in the same as that 1 on that corner. That helps round it out. So let's slip stitch into that first one. Notice where we're at. We're up a little bit past here. We'll close this off when we finish this next row. Chain 2. In the next, this will count as our double crochet even though it's a chain 2. In our next, let's do a double crochet, and we'll do 1 double crochet per stitch all the way around, except when we get to the corner. So continue all the way across, and then you'll see right here we have the 3. So in that middle one right there, you're going to want to place 3 double crochets in that center one, and you'll do that, and then you'll do 1 all the way around, 3 in that center one at the next corner, 1 all the way around, and you'll do that until you come back up here. You'll see your first one, and then in that middle one you'll place 3 and then join with a slip stitch to close this row off. Go all the way around. Don't forget your 3s in the corner, and I'll meet you there. So I have a bit of confession to make. I originally had put in a row of green and then tried to put a back post double crochet behind it. It just didn't look right. So after we cut, we have to cut. We're going to go ahead and rejoin the white. We're going to start with a standing double crochet. Now of the 3, you want to, not the center one, but the one on the end. We're going to start with a standing double crochet. So place your finger on that loop, wrap it around. Let's draw up a loop, and now we can take our finger off. We've completed a standing double crochet. We're going to place 2 in that end one, and I guess you can see I forgot to go over my tail. I'll weave that in later. So this double crochet took care of that. So our next one is in our chain space. And we're going to do 1 double crochet in each stitch across. And I'm sorry about having to weave in again. So all the way across. When you get to this first one right here, place 2 to finish off this row. So at the end of the row, you'll see I'm in that first of the corner. I did 2. Let's go ahead and cut. Tie it off. So the next color we're going to pull up is our green. So start with a short tail. And kind of make your loop a little larger. We're going to start where the single crochets line up. Insert your hook into the top of that first row of double crochets and pull your loop through. Don't bring the knot through. Then go down and pull up your loop in your next stitch. Okay, we're going to go over to the next one and pull up the yarn from the bottom and then pull it through, and it gives it a chain effect. Let me pull it over so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, so you don't want your chains to be tight. And this is what we're doing. We're just picking up the yarn from behind, pulling it up, and then pulling it through the loop on the hook. Okay, now go all the way across till you get in line right here, and that's where we're going to stop at. So here we are at the last. Let's go ahead and finish this off. I'm going to cut my yarn and pull it through. Okay, now I don't want to go straight down. I'm going to go over. I'm going to use my yarn needle, and I'm going to go over my green and into part of this white. That'll help keep it from being stretched over. See, so that'll hold that down. And on the back, I'm going to go ahead and weave it in. Make a little knot too. But I'm going to go down to the green and weave it in there. But I wanted to finish it to make sure that it didn't come loose up in this area. So I'm going to go ahead and go under some of these stitches here. Go over the top one, come back, okay, stretch it out, go over the top, and go back, and I'm going to leave a short tail for use wear. And that finishes that. We'll take this and weave it in. All loose ends, go ahead and weave in. And then we'll move on to our next step. We are almost done. So leave yourself about a 6-inch tail on your green and make a chain of 150 to start off with, and then add more as you need it. it will be used to tie the top portion of the skirt. So that we will have, see, right here, a zigzag right through here. So you want it to come down about 6 inches, or however long you want it to. So we're going to start here and crisscross over here, and we'll just go over. It'll be just kind of like tying a shoe. So start at 150. If you need more, add more, and then I'll show you how to do the ties. So basically all we're going to do is just a chain stitch, and I'll see you when you get the length that you need. I'm putting tassels on the end of mine, so let's wrap it around 4 fingers, starting with the end right down here at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. And cut it down in that same area. Then fold it in half. And down at the bottom, go ahead and cut it with another piece of, whoops, let me bring out the chain. So here with our chain, we're going to take that 6-inch piece and go through the center. And make an overhand knot. And when you tighten it, try to make it as close to the chain as possible. Let's put 2 of them on there to hold it really well. Now over time, you probably will find that the little tassel will hang a little bit from the chain. That's okay. So now come down about 1/2 inch, wrap it around, pull up from behind, and this is like a half hitch. Okay, and then wrap it a couple of times around. Pull it snug. Okay, then do that 1/2 inch again. It's kind of like putting an overhand knot on a round circle. And then pull it tight. Okay, and do it one more time. Or any way that you prefer to do your tassel. This is how I choose to do mine. And they always hold up. So, okay, and then with the excess, you can cut it to the length you need, and you have a little dangly piece at the end of your tie for the side of your skirt. Go ahead and do the other side, and I'll show you my completed skirt with the ties on the side. So how I am threading mine, I'm going to be starting here in this area from the bottom. And I want it to be even, so go across here. And I'm going to find half of my chain. Now I didn't finish my chain in case I need more. And then just crisscross. I'm going to count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in that 5th stitch right there. So the other side will get the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, I keep hitting my camera, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm going too close. Alrighty, I guess I gotta try this again. Okay, so this one, I know you're sitting here laughing at me. I can go with it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you want to pull the other side in. Yeah, I guess you heard the creak in my house. It's an old house. All right, so here on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this skirt has been an experience for me. I used to do clothing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My major in college was apparel design, and I used to love to design clothes. But as time progresses on, things change, and so I wanted to give my hand at crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And things that I love to do is like wedding dresses and evening gowns. It's my favorite thing to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I have a feeling I need to pull that other one out. So, as you listen to some of my videos, I tell a little bit about myself. I don't sit around and tell everything, but yeah, I enjoy all of this. And this one goes up here at the last one. So this one at the very top will be where we tie it shut at. So we can have our nice little bow hanging down. So you can see how we have this here, and this will stretch over the hip area. Okay, so now I'm ready to put my other tassel on. I think that'll be plenty. So here you can see we have finished our skirt. Fits nicely, and here's the tie on the side. As you can see, I also have it where it goes with the bralette, which is in a separate video. And you can see that the bralette ties in the back as well. So, thanks for being with me in this video, in the making of this crocheted skirt with the tie on the side. So, till next time, bye-bye.